out during the game, go back and look at the tape, there's responsibility truly to be had in all areas. We got one of the first sacks we take, the receiver comes out of it a little bit sharper and not as deep, his depth and his angle, we got to throw. Tom misread the coverage, so if he doesn't have a throw, if he does there, and then the lineman, had some problems. We thought I thought he had help and was supposed to have help, and he didn't get it. Another one we get beat, and then tight ends got beat. Backs gave up hit. So it's everyone's got to own it, and it starts with coaching, and that's I got to own it, and we're gonna get better at it this week.
In a game like that, or the Virginia game where there's a lot of pressure, are there shorter things or quick passes that are there that he's not taking, or is that something that needs to be emphasized more going into each game?
I think certainly we got to look at all those. I think we've had a couple where where you call in more protection, to shore up the protection, and therefore you think you've got that and you don't. That's a little bit tricky, had it, in the course of the game, called in a little bit more protection, go short, and if there's a risk reward there because you don't spread them, defense out as much. So we got to just do a good job of game planning and make sure guys understand, and then they got we got to execute that.
I know he has a big arm, but the shorter passing game, could that maybe substitute for the running when you're having some struggles running the ball?
Absolutely.
Get it out quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you forget my question.
How did you forget your question?
Well, I guess did they attack you differently than UVA did? I mean, or were some of the breakdowns similar?
Yeah, no, they attacked us differently. Certainly, scheme's a little bit different, but yeah, I mean, I think they each had. Virginia Tech certainly didn't take Virginia's plan and implement it. I think you always see some things and find a way. And you look at it, you can see a little bit different plan of attack, but nonetheless effective.
You've only given up one touchdown in the past two games, but are you looking for your defense to impact games even more than that?
Well, I mean, when you say impact it more, I mean, you want them to, impact it all the time, and each week's a different week. I think that we've got certainly different challenges than what we had. This week, Old Dominion presents some different challenges, and so. But yeah, I like that. Hopefully we're getting better on defense. You certainly see some signs of it. We're going to need every phase, and we need them to be good. We're certainly, I think we're getting some good play out of a number of guys. I feel like we're playing a little bit faster on defense right now, so hopefully that keeps progressing.
Todd's been playing. He was all over the field on Saturday.
I thought Todd played one of his better games, and was physical. Was in the right spots. I agree. I thought he did play. He played well.
With his offensive line, I mean, they've played pretty well this year in the first few games. The last two games, are these kind of things you expect with a younger group or with a new group, kind of bumps in the road, in development?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're ever shocked one way or the other, but I think we just got to get back to trusting some of the things that they've been doing or are doing, just individual technique-wise. And then, like I said, we got to do a better job of making sure they understand, be it the scheme or, like I said, where you're getting help, if you're getting help, and it's wrong to put this all on the O-line, and I think it goes back to, we've got to do a better job, just get a chance to make plays, you make plays, that changes games, you know, and just, we didn't, and maybe it's, you know, running the football or, you know, making a catch, then all of a sudden you get a little bit of momentum, you know, so I think there's a lot of things to it. You know, don't want to be a broke record, but, you know, we gotta own it and we gotta get better.
I mean, you said after the game that, you know, big reason the running game struggles is you just didn't get enough chances at it. Besides that, I mean, are there things you can do to manufacture more chances other than, you know, just converting third downs more or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know in the sense of, you know, it's certainly, you know, I thought that you're limited on, you have to get first downs to get more downs, right? And then you make it harder when you have the lost yardage plays. You know, when you're in those significantly, you know, deep situations, that's harder. And when you are inconsistent, you know, run the ball inconsistently, then you try to take you know, something to get it going in the air, and then the numbers start, and then if you take a sack, you know, we just got to play better offense, period. I mean, we can sit there and talk all we want, we got to play better.
Well, was Heineke anything like to do quarterback? Does he run around a lot? Did their office anything?
You know, he's got really, just in watching him, he obviously, I think he's got a great understanding of the game. He gets a yards rushing, but he's looking to, you know, he'll extend plays, he's looking, he stays alive in the pocket, you know. But he is certainly not afraid to run. And so I think there might be, the Dukes seems like a long time ago, you know, might be some sort of, but just in watching, he really, you know, he can get the ball out of his hands fast. He can, you know, offensively, you know, they do just formationally, they really spread the field. And he can get it to all the spots, so he's obviously got a strong arm, but he gets it out of his hand. He's an accurate passer, and, you know, when teams do some things, you know, coverage-wise, and if they aren't disciplined in the rush lanes, he has exposed people. And so he is athletic, but he certainly is going to try to extend the play and try to get the ball down the field. You know, a lot like kind of how you know, when I was with Russell Wilson, he played like that. You know, we're capable of being a good runner, but was going to continue to put, like some quarterbacks that run are good runners. Once they put the ball down, once they move off the spot, they're going. And he doesn't do that. He keeps it alive. And he's a good player. And I think they got some good players around him, obviously. The guys are doing a nice job after the catch and separating. You know, it'll be a good challenge for us.
They seem to score a lot of points. Is he the cause for that, or what is their offense? Did they run a lot of plays, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I think it's a good scheme, but they got good players running, and I think certainly in that offense, a lot does fall on him. You know, and they'll do some you know, spread gun run, but it looks like most of his yards come in the passing game when he extends it. But you know, they've got some guys. I think when they get the ball in their hands in some space, they're pretty good.
Paul, what was your opinion on the hit on Devin Street in the game?
You know, right first glance, you know, I thought it was, you know, I questioned what we were seeing, and you know, brought it up with the league and got the response, and so clearly, you know, wasn't penalty.
How do you feel, I mean, through, I guess, 5 games now, how do you feel like the, you know, helmet-to-helmet stuff has been enforced this year?
It's been, you know, our games, it's been, I don't know.
Just to clarify, was the hit on Street, and when you looked at it on video, was it helmet to helmet?
The league told us it was clearly not.
You don't agree?
It doesn't matter.
Is that a borderline play, like when you're teaching your guys to hit? Would you want a guy to hit somebody that
No,
way?
I wouldn't, you know, and I don't, and I think a lot of these aren't intentional, you know, I really don't think a lot of these players are trying to target other, I've seen some comments, I don't think they're trying to be malicious, I really do think that it's a tough, to officiate. But I don't, anytime, it's the great slogan they got going is, heads up, and that's the thing, and it's,
Does it warrant some more off-season discussion between coaches and everybody else?
I think on how to implement it all, and, I think at times, yeah, I think it needs to be, continue to be talked about, and will be. And we're all for players' safety.
Paul, is there any concern, I mean, I think Tom's taken 15 sacks last couple of games. I think Frank said after the end they could have got 8 more. He's obviously been knocked around a little bit. Is there any concern about the accumulation of that stuff affecting him and maybe
Absolutely.
his confidence in the pocket and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely, we've got to all do a better job of protecting him.
Is there, I mean, what do you say to your quarterback when he's, sometimes, as you mentioned, sometimes he needs to maybe get the ball a little quicker, sometimes. How do you get him to continue to look downfield and not look in front
I
of him?
think he is, I love the way that he competed. I don't think that he's getting skittish necessarily. I think he was a great example. I mean, he is competing, and when you're competing, you're going to stay in and try to, make a play. And sometimes it's hard to concede. You know what? Don't have it. Throw it out of bounds. And I think really he's not peaking to me right now. He's trying to make something happen. And you look at the play at the end of the first half. He is standing in there. He knows he's going to get hit, and he makes it. So I don't worry about him being skittish. And we gotta help him. Absolutely, there's a cumulative effect. I think on everyone. That would play it, not just Tom. That all of a sudden he's. But we're going to get better at it. I mean, I do believe that, but we got to put that on tape.
Is there a point where you have to, sometimes maybe for the greater good, is to just get rid of it and not absorb something? I mean, is that a judgment call? Is that something you try to talk to him about and say, look, I know you're trying to make a play here, but
yeah,
maybe instead of trying to do the impossible, you try to just say,
he
hey.
talks about it on the sidelines. We had those discussions during the game. I know I did. I know Brooks did, but he's also, he knows that he could have stepped out of bounds on the one scramble and shouldn't. But he's playing the game, and that you appreciate.
Was that quarterback draw like a reward for him to get that rushing touchdown?
Give him a couple more hits.
You got plenty of those in the playbook, right? The
No, we
draws?
just we thought it was going to be a good play going in, and no, and Tom is not that guy that you got to do something like that to reward him. I mean, he is not that at all, and so it had nothing to do with, hey, you've been a good trooper here, let's give you a touchdown. Not at all.
Did he lobby for his number to be called after that again?
No.
Have to run it for that?
He knew it going in, and we had it in, and it was the situation, and I love the way that he's approached it. Now, we can get better, and we can help him get better, but I appreciate him.
Do you expect Devin and James to be able to practice this week?
Yeah, I can't wait and see here. I don't think today we're planning on doing anything with them, but we'll see as the week progresses.
Was that a good sign? I mean, Tech's defense, they like to bring pressure to force interceptions, yet Tom didn't throw any. Is that a good sign in how he played, like not getting sucked into those kind of situations?
Yeah, I think, certainly, knew that, if we could take care of the football, and they did a great job, we'd have a chance to have a chance. We just, hadn't quite focused on that as much afterwards. But yeah, that's good.
Is Devin feeling better today, Dave?
He says he is. Just saw him earlier in the day.
Well, you take a step out of conference play for the next 2 weeks. I know you don't have anything to do with the schedule, but is it nice to be able to, kind kind of work on some other things without pressures of conference play being on you as you go?
I don't see it that way. You know, it's nice to be able to have a, rhythm of the season and going. Each game's a unique opportunity, and so, I don't think that you feel more or less pressure. You just, like you said, it is the schedule, and you embrace it, and each week I kind of feel the same.
Do you like having that break in the conference schedule in the middle of kind of the season like that, or does it not matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a game. We get to play it. It's a pretty good deal.
Anything final?
Paul, do you think you guys have reached a maturity level where the opponent is not as much, doesn't factor in necessarily to what you guys are trying to do or the mindset or whatever? I mean, that you guys have, it's not, oh, well, this week we have, you go from Virginia Tech, which is a top 25 team, to a school that's,
Right.
making paths towards being an
I
FBS.
hope we're making progress. We're going to find out.
Are you gonna mention the Youngstown State game last year as like a reminder to not overlook things? You tell me something.
Why would I start now?
Fair enough.
We'll just sit in the back of the room during your meeting.
Get that.